This conference will now be recorded.
Hello everyone, once again, good morning. Yesterday we have discussed types of applications and also characteristics of a good tester. We talked about standalone applications, web applications, and mobile applications. Any questions from previous class? Okay, I'll take it as no. So today we will be discussing principles of testing. So how many principles are there? As I mentioned yesterday, there are fixed 7 principles are there. So those principles we will see one after another. There are 7 principles. I will list one after another and then we'll discuss. So first one, testing shows the presence of defects. Okay. Next one is early testing, and third one is defect clustering. Before that, we will discuss exhaustive testing is impossible. And defects clustering, and the pesticide paradox, and texting is context dependent, and the last one is absence of defects fallacy. Okay, so these are the 7 principles. So we'll discuss one after another. Testing shows the presence of defects. It is a simple English statement. Testing shows the presence of defects. What does it mean? So testing, whatever defects present in the application will be identified by the testing. If you do proper testing, you can identify the defects present in the application. Application itself cannot tell, like whenever you are using, so these are all defects I have, like that application will not expose all the defects, right? You need to do different cases testing, different ways, and then you will get to know if at all something is not working, you can identify them. Okay, so you need to do proper testing to identify defects present in the application. Okay, so this is very simple principle. So you need to do thorough testing, otherwise you will definitely miss some cases, some issues in the application, which will be identified later in the higher environments by business people. So it will be, it's not a, it will be a good it will be a remark uh, for your testing, because you are the one who tested and then certified, who passed the quality of the product, and then it is deployed to U8 environment, right? We have discussed types of environment in the first class. So you have certified that the quality of the product is good. You can deploy it to U8 environment. Based on your confirmation only, build and deployment team has deployed the product to U8 environment. So if you have not done proper testing and you covered only some simple cases and you missed some of the cases, then in those cases, if UAT in UAT environment, if some business people identified some issues, then it will be given to the BA. BA will give to testing team. Why testing team? Why BA is sending all those issues identified by the business analyst is given to testing team? Because you are the one who tested and given certification. Why these issues came? Can you check whether these issues are still there in the application or customer is doing something wrong? You check and confirm us. Like that, BA will give the all the issues identified by the business people to the testing team. Then as a tester, you need to check all those things and you need to confirm, yes, as customer mentioned, these are defects. No, this is not a defect, or this is not mentioned in the requirement. Like that, you need to give some proper justification. If at all you confirm something as a defect, why it is a defect, you need to tell. Why didn't you identify? You need to mention the reason. Okay, so that you will be doing as part of defect clustering. I'll explain there again. So it is important to do proper testing to avoid these unnecessary activities later on. If you identify, if you do thorough testing, you can identify all the issues in the testing phase itself. You need not to come back later on for to address the customer feedback. Okay, moving on to the next principle, early testing. Early testing means come early to the class, means it's not like before the time, right? On time, you need to start your testing activities as early as possible. What is that early time? I told customer will give the requirements to business analyst. Business analyst will based on his lot of discussions with the business, he will document all the information whatever he collected from the business, and then he explains those requirements to the team. Okay, that is the place where you need to start your testing activities. So you will be thinking testing means opening the application and whether it is working or not. You don't think like that. Testing means not only that activity. To reach that level, you need to do some pre-work. What is that? You need to analyze the requirement, you need to understand the requirement, whatever clarifications you can get from business analyst, and you need to come up with detailed test cases for those requirements, how you are going to test this requirement. You need to plan well in advance. It will be done, it will be done before developer completes the development of that requirement. So you need to start your testing activities as early as possible. What is the benefit? If you start analyzing the requirement in the very early stage and you found something is mentioned wrongly in the document itself, what you will do? You will talk to business analyst. So see, there is something mentioned wrongly. Is this correct or not? Can you please let us know? Then BA also will analyze. Oh, okay, this is something wrongly mentioned. Okay, I'll correct it. It is something deviating from the previous process. Okay, I'll correct it. Like that, he will make changes. What you did in that case, you identified the issue in the documentation phase itself. If you have not identified, you just blindly followed the requirement and you wrote the test cases. You and developer wrote the code and you have tested it in the same way, because as per your test cases, that is the wrong expectation you have written in your test case as well. You will pass your test cases, that means you pass the requirement and it will be released to the customer. Their customer will be identifying these issues. So unnecessarily you will, otherwise you in the testing phase itself you realized, okay, it is something deviating from previous behavior. Like that, you realized in your testing only, then also it is already late. Means you need to rework on your test cases, developer need to change the code, and you need to get the new build again, you need to retest those functionalities, then you need to confirm. This all rework can be avoided if you have identified that issue in the early stage. So the issues identified in the early stage will take less time to fix the defects, fix the issues. If you identify it in very lately, then you may need to do a lot of rework to give fix for that identified issues. Okay. So that's the benefit of early testing. This principle is telling start the testing activities as early as possible. Start the testing activities as early as possible. When? Once the requirements are finalized and prioritized by the BA, that is the time testers need to start their testing activities, like analyzing the requirements, writing the test cases. This will help in identifying the issues in the early stages. The issues identified in the early stage will take what? Will take less effort, less time and effort to fix than the issues identified in the later phases. Is this clear, everyone?
Yes, sir. Sir, one more thought had. If we did not found any issue which in the initial stage of testing, starting of the development, but after the developing, we have found that the issue is there. Means that
In the
there is
application.
communication. Yes.
Okay.
So does it
Is
comes
it
on?
a issue you are telling?
Yeah.
No, it is identified, but if something is mentioned in the document itself wrongly, you could have identified there. If you
Mhm.
identify in your testing, that is also good only, but
Mhm.
you could have avoided this unnecessary work. Right now you identified in the once the developer completes the development, and you while testing in the application you identified, okay, this is something wrong, then you need to do rework. Means tester, if you identified, why didn't you identify this in the requirement phase itself? That's the question, right? You need to rework. Developer needs to change the code. You as a tester, you have written test cases also wrongly. The test cases need to be corrected. Again, the deployment team need to deploy the new build to the testing environment, and then you need to retest and then pass the test cases. So that is fine. At least if you have identified in your testing phase, that's well and good. If it is missed from there also, then it is an issue. Okay. So, but what I mean to say here is, you identify during your testing phase, during your test execution phase, which could have been identified in the requirement phase itself, test design phase itself. You could have identified it, which will avoid lot of rework effort. Fine, Manish.
It's fine, sir.
Any other questions from anyone? Okay, next principle, exhaustive testing is impossible. Some type of testing is impossible, they are telling. What is exhaustive? Exhausted, you will tell, right? I am exhausted. What does it mean
Sir,
in English?
more work
Okay.
can be given. It means that in the testing cases, suppose if it is a data based application, more data which is stored in the database, that time it may
Mhm.
not work. The application may not work. That time it can be called a exhaustive testing. For example,
Not.
for example, For example, any user data which is stored, after that only it will show the errors. But just testing only minimum data, it can be working fine. So it is called exhaustive.
No, not really. What is the meaning in as a person when you will tell exhausted? When something is too much of work is given, like too many tasks need to be done, then you will feel, oh my god, I need to do these many things. It's not about unable to do something somewhere. Okay, so in that
Losing
means
the
too
energy.
much.
Losing the energy.
Yeah, you need energy, but if you have energy also, that many tasks are given. It's like it is, you need to figure out what and all you need to do, and it's doing that repeatedly. It's very difficult. That's what you felt, and you felt exhausted. In the same way, in testing also, I will give an example. Simple field only. In age field, the age field accepts any number between 18 to 100. Okay, this is an example. Now this age field, it is a text field in a form. You need to test this, right? This is the rule mentioned by business analyst in the requirement document. The age field accepts any number between 18 to 100. How many tests you will do to test this?
Using
How
boundary
many
value
tests?
analysis.
No, I'm not talking about test techniques, test design techniques. Just in general, you think if you are a college student and you did not study anything about test design techniques, because it will not be part of your test syllabus, right? So if you are coming as a fresher, if you did not even get the testing job, okay, if you are going to test this field, what your mind will be telling? You will test with 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, like that till 100 you will test.
No, sir.
Yes, like that only we do as a
Yeah,
base.
if you are, yeah, as a fresher, and if you don't know about techniques and all, you will do like that only, correct? So forget about, since you know the boundaries, 18 to 100, it will accept that. Since you know the boundaries, you are testing that from 18 to 100 each and every number. So you also need to test less than 18 should not be accepted, greater than 100 should not be accepted, correct? So what is the limit for less than 18? How many numbers you will test? It's infinite. Greater than 100, how many numbers you will test? That is also infinite. So you cannot test this kind of cases. Endless testing it is. Till how much range you want, you need to test. Even 18 to 100 itself is exhausted. It's waste of your time. For one single field you will be testing 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, like that, whatever 78 times someone has counted. So 78 times, it's waste of your time to test one single field. So you are not supposed to spend that much time to test such kind of functionalities repeatedly with this kind of all the combinations. Okay, so what is exhaustive testing? Checking a functionality or validating a functionality with all the possible combinations. is called exhaustive testing with all the possible combinations of input is called as exhaustive testing. Okay, but performing this level of testing excuse me is not possible. Okay, so this is the example. Understand? So now what you will do, as there are some test design techniques, what they are suggesting is take any one number from each range. Less than 18 one number, greater than 100 one number, between 18 to 100 one number. You assume that if it is satisfying the condition, you assume that that is how it is going to work for all the numbers. Okay, so it's not maximum 3 to 5 tests you will be doing, not all the numbers you will verify. Okay, so that we will discuss in test design techniques part, how to test in this kind of situations. But for now you need to understand doing each and every numbers validation is impossible. Okay, so one more thing here you need to understand is this is a principle. It's not for you only, it's for everyone in the IT world. This is a testing principle. So now you tested with some only one number or two numbers. So but customer, our bad luck or his good luck, he tested with 72, only one number. That 72 is not accepting. It's a very weird issue and it may not happen every time. For some reason, only 72 is not accepting. So what you will do? Customer cannot say like what testing you people have done, it is not accepting 72. He will also tell, oh, I'm surprised why it is only 72 is not accepting. It's very weird issue. Could you please look into it and then fix it for the 72? Like that they will request us. It's not an issue, it's not a defect. Okay, it's a defect only, but it's a very weird thing. Even customer or no one can guess. Okay, so that such kind of things, even principle is there. So for them, business also will be knowing this principle, so they cannot ask for it. Then you will tell simply, yeah, okay, it's even surprising for us as well. I don't know why it is not accepting this specific number. Maybe we have it tested with that specific number. We will look into it, and what is the reason, we'll find out and give the fix. Like that we will tell to them. That's it. Okay, clear with exhaustive testing impossible principle,
Yes, sir.
all of you?
Yes, sir.
Next,
Yes, sir.
defects clustering. Clustering means what? Clustering,
Grouping, sir. Grouping number of
grouping or
components.
classifying. Grouping or classifying, categorizing, kind of words we can use, right? So defects clustering, you whatever defects are identified need to be grouped, it seems. On what basis? Need to be classified. On what basis? So there can be type of issues. What is this principle is telling? This principle, it is suggesting the testers to group or classify the defects.
Your voice was not clear, sir.
Is it for everyone, all of you?
We,
No,
we are
sir.
okay
Sir,
with
we
that,
can
but
hear you.
no,
We are good.
It is
No,
okay
sir.
for me,
No,
sir.
sir.
I think you need to check your end. What is that name? Is Shantaraj something is there? Please check your end. It's something wrong with your network. It is suggesting to the testers to group or classify the defects, classify the identified defects based on various clauses. What are those clauses? Type of defect. What does it mean, type of defect? It's a functional defect or non-functional defect. Functional or non-functional? In non-functional also it's a performance defect, or this you will learn later on what is functional, not non-functional. Tomorrow, in tomorrow's class, you will learn this one. So functionality related defect or something UI related or performance related or security related defect it is. Type of defect or which area of the application it belongs to. Root cause of the issue. And also source of defect. What is source of defect means? From where, which environment it is identified. Why do we need to categorize like this? By categorizing based on the environment, it is how many defects are identified in UAT environment, production environment. Such kind of classification will help us how many defects are leaked to higher environments from testing environment. How many defects are missed by testing people, that you can categorize. So because there will be, for every tester, there will be, for whole testing team, testing criteria will be there. Performance criteria for all the testers. What is that? Defect leakage percentage should not be more than 1% or 2%, like that. Some number will be given as part of your performance review. Okay, yearly review will happen, right? So that criteria will be checked for all the testers. It's not like you missed or another tester missed. It's for whole testing team. The test defect leakage percentage should not be more than 1% or 2%. How that is measured, that we will learn later on. Okay, so this kind of classification need to be done for the defects. So what it will do, it will help the team in what? In
Minimize the
analyzing. Okay,
or fix up the defects.
so now some defect, while you are analyzing this one, you will be doing this as part of root cause analysis. Okay, there will be a separate meeting called RCA, root cause analysis. This will be done
I know about it, root cause analysis.
as part of root cause analysis. Yes, Manish. Root
So
cause.
if
Yes,
analysis.
go on.
So
Sorry.
actually, I've been worked in the BPO sector. If the customer
Okay.
having any issues like that, means if he has any complaint against us, we have to do a root cause analysis why the complaint was raised and why it is done, the how it is done, like that we have to do. If it is
Yes.
like
Yes.
a agent error or process error or any knowledge error, that we have to be
Yes.
checked
Yes.
and we have to report to the clients.
Yes. Yes. So that is what you are going to do here also in the software testing. You will be identifying what is the actual reason for the issue. It's a code issue, or it's a requirement issue, or it's a data issue, or it's a wrong actions are performed by the customer or anyone. That and all will be identified in this root cause analysis for the defects. So it will, by seeing this one now, not only for the customer defects, in your testing also, whatever defects you identified, based on those defects also, you will be, I'm explaining that only, please listen again. The defects whatever you identified, you need to discuss. It's not about only defects coming from customer, it's your defects also. You people will be, there will be three testers in, if you have three testers in your team, Three testers may test in different ways. They may identify different defects, right? You all together, why these many defects are coming and what are the reasons for these defects, you will be discussing within yourself. And while discussing, one developer has raised many defects related to UI means alignment, spelling mistakes, colors, this kind of labels are this UI related issues written raised by one developer, one tester, sorry. Then other tester, if I am the other tester, what I'll be thinking, oh, I am not at all concentrating on UI part. Let me do next time onwards, I also concentrate on UI issues. So it will help you in analyzing, okay, what you are lagging, that will be help, that will what you are not doing will be realized, you will be getting realization there, and you will be doing that activity later on. And next point, which area of the application it belongs to. If you find, if you do this classification, you found that this insert module is giving lot of issues. You found that this module, this area of the application belonging to the application is giving lot of defects. Then what you will do, next time onwards, whenever you are testing some new features or new enhancements in this specific module, you will pay more attention. Okay, you will pay more attention or you take more care while testing that specific area related requirements. So it will help in avoiding unnecessary issues later on. Okay, so like this, it will help the team in analyzing what type of defects are more in the mode and which area of the application is producing more defects, and how many defects are leaked to higher environments. Why I'm using leaked word? It's not like you are intentionally leaking. It is missed from you. Environments from testing team. Okay, etc. This kind of analysis you can do if you classify the defects identified in various environments with their root cause, and then all these classification, there will be dedicated field for all these things. Type it's a functional defect or non-functional defect, there will be one field. Area path is one of the field in the defect uh, details, and root cause, source of defect and root cause, there are two different fields will be there. Environment is one field will be there, and root cause is one separate field will be there. These all details need to be filled in the defects, so that when you are doing analysis, it will be very helpful to identify, okay, this defect is coming from UAT environment, this is a functional issue, it is root cause is code issue. If something root cause, you when you are analyzing the defects of customer, whatever he identified, you may tell, this is not explicitly mentioned in the requirement, that's why I did not cover this test case in my testing. Then BA, it is you are with that classification, you are pointing to BA. Manager will speak to BA, see these many around 10 defects are classified as requirement missing. Can you please take care, we don't address such, we should not take these kind of things as defects, it should be coming as requirement. Like that, manager will talk to BA. So then BA will try to give justification, why are you thinking it is not there in the requirement, see this one, see this point, this is there here. Like that, there's some friendly discussion will happen in the project. So if at all they have to change the classification later on, then they may change based on the BA's explanation. If BA also accepting, then he may tell, yeah, it is a very small issue, so instead of creating new requirement, we thought of addressing it as part of defect. No problem, next time onwards, if at all it is a major issue, major change we are going to do, then we will create a new requirement only. Like that he will tell. Understand this defect clustering, all of you? Kalyan, is it clear for you?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Everyone, any questions before moving on to the next one?
No, sir.
Okay, pesticide paradox is the next principle. This is nothing to guess. You cannot guess by seeing these words. But one thing you can tell, pesticides where we will use in farming, right? To
Farming
remove the
land.
pests. Yeah, you will remove the pests, try to remove the pests. So what is this? Depending on the type of farming you are doing and type of insects you are observing, and what is the stage of the application, sorry, stage of the farming, means at what level the plants are, depending on that you will be varying, you will be changing your pesticide. Am I correct? Whoever is having idea on farming, you know, right? So we will be changing the pesticide depending on the type of pesticide, pests you observed, type of plants you are farming, and what is the stage of the plant. It is in the starting stage, and the mid came to medium growth, and also now it came to crop level, like you are going to cut the farm later on. Depending on the stage of the farming, you will be deciding your type of pesticide as well, correct? So keeping that concept in mind, here what is this principle is telling, you will be writing to test a requirement, you will be writing some test cases. That's fine, you will test it. But every time when you want to test those requirements again and again, if you use the same test cases, you may not identify new defects. First time when you are testing with those test cases, you may identify some defects. Again, if you are following the same test cases, you may not identify any new defects. What is it telling? So you try to upgrade your test cases time to time and try to cover other corners of the application which you have not covered as part of your existing test cases. Understand? So testers need to upgrade their test cases. For even that, don't stick to same set of test cases to test the application again and again. Application features again and again. It will not help in identifying the new defects later on. So it is suggesting to, so the principle is suggesting to the testers the test cases must be upgraded time to time to cover. And so if you have done some test cases have written initially based on analysis on the requirement, then you started testing the requirement. Once developer completes the development, then you realized, okay, I did not cover these cases, let me write test cases for that. No one is going to stop you. Why are you writing test cases now after development? No one is going to stop you. It is a very good thing you are doing. You missed yourself, you are telling to the team, I missed some test cases during my analysis. Now I realized while testing I am writing test cases. Okay, it's well and good for the later use. Next time when you are testing, another tester, if they are testing this functionality, they will be using your test cases only, they can cover more cases. Okay, so that's why the principal is suggesting testers to write the test cases. If you find to cover any other corner cases, if you have missed, you can write the new test cases. And if your existing test cases are having some wrong expectation, later on when the application is evolved, your existing test cases are not correct, then you need to make the changes according to the later evaluation on the application. You need to make your test cases correct. Okay, so must be upgraded time to time to cover all the other corners, of the application which were not covered in the existing test cases. Okay, so like this, if you do, you can identify more defects, or you can cover all the corners of all the parts of the application, so that you can improve the quality of the product. Any questions on this pesticide paradox? Okay, so
Sir.
keeping that same keeping that same example, whatever I have given, the pesticides and farming thing, what I told, one point I told, depending on the type of plants you put, type of what to tell, farming you are doing, and the type of land what you are having, you will be varying your pesticides, I said. That means what? Testing is context dependent. What is it this principle is telling? Your way of testing will be varying depending on the context of the application which you are testing. What can be the context then? In application point of view, what is the context? It can be type of application, right, which we discussed yesterday. You cannot test mobile application and web application in same way. You cannot test web-based applications and web services in same way, correct? So, and also two web applications only. One is related to banking application, one is related to e-commerce, means Flipkart, Amazon kind of application. So though the applications are same, means type of application is same, but the domain is altogether different. One is related to banking, another one is related to e-commerce. Nowhere the functionalities are related, correct? So depending on the context of the application, you must vary your type of testing as well to do the better testing. Which type of testing will better suit that testing, you need to apply for testing the applications. You need to follow the same approach for testing all the types of, you should not follow the same approach. Okay, the way of testing must vary depending on the context of the application. The context can be type of the application and or domain of the application. What is domain? E-commerce, banking, healthcare. Depending on the what domain of the application you are testing, you will be following different approaches. Type of application is, it's a web application, mobile application, web services, etc. Okay, depending on that, you will be changing your way of testing. Understand this principle? Understood, all of you? Is that clear? Any questions? Okay, moving on. Absence of defects policy. Absence of defects policy. Fallacy means it's a wrong assumption or wrong conclusion, we can say. Absence of defects. There are no defects. It's wrong conclusion. What is this principle is telling then? So when you are testing, you tested the functionalities once, twice, and then you did not find any, you found some defects and it is fixed. Again you tested, it is not, it's working fine. There are no defects. You are thinking, okay, you did not find any defects. Then you are telling, I tested application thoroughly. There are no defects at all in the application. Like that, if you are stating, it's a wrong conclusion. If you still have time to do the testing, if you are having still time to do the release of the application to customer, do some different testing. Don't come to the such early conclusion, I have tested thoroughly, there are no defects at all in the application. Don't conclude like that. Okay, test differently and to try to do some random testing. If you are not out of scenarios, if you are out of scenarios, do some random testing. Do whatever shit you want to do on the application. Some random clicks like this and all. Click like that. Okay, so if you feel, if your application is hanging or application is crashing or application is not responding at all those are all also issues only. You need to, you can do such kind of thing at least if you if you are out of scenarios, you are done with your all the possible cases, you are out of scenarios, then do such kind of random testing. But don't close the testing very early saying that I am done with my testing and there are no defects at all. You don't tell that. Okay, if you are reaching the timelines and you are supposed to release tomorrow, then you can't do anything because you don't have time. Okay, but if you still have time, don't close the testing like that. Okay, don't ever come to an early conclusion saying that testing has been done thoroughly, I'm done with the whatever testing is done is enough, performed is enough, and there are no defects at all. There are no defects at all in the application. If you still have time, if there is time, testers need to think of testing the application in different ways instead of closing the testing very early. Okay, clear all of you? Any questions from the principles of testing?
No,
All
sir.
of you able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, okay, fine. These are the principles. As a tester, every time we need to remember, we need to respect each and every principle in our day-to-day testing activities. Okay, so please remember these principles, and whenever we are discussing later topics, I may ask, we may get into one of the situations what these principles are suggesting. We will discuss, I will ask you only. Okay, please remember all these things.
Sir, soft copy notes will provide us.
Yeah, I will share all these things. I'm yet to receive the uh, mail IDs from institute. I will talk to institute and get. Okay, I will share.
Okay.
Okay, Fine. Next topic is excuse me. Okay, types of testing, which is a major thing. We are not going to discuss fully today, but one major classification we will discuss today, that is, anyone knows what is the, if anyone asks you what are the types of testings, what immediately will tell? Whatever you
Functional
searched in
testing.
Google, whatever you have seen. Okay, go on
Manual
fast.
White box
testing and
and black
production.
box.
Functional testing, non-functional testing.
Okay, good one, good classification. Someone said
Red box testing.
okay, that is another thing. Okay, uh someone
Uh,
said something manual something.
Automation testing and manual testing.
Yes, that is the thing you need to tell first. Okay, so based on or depending on how the test execution is performed, means how the application is being validated. Test execution is being performed. The testing is, there are mainly two types of testing. What are those things? That is manual testing and automation testing. Okay, so in manual testing, how the test execution will be? Test execution only will differ. Test case writing, uh, you will be test case reviews, analyzing the requirement, nothing will change. Okay, only execution will be changing. So what does it mean? As a manual tester, what you will do, you will run your test cases manually and follow the steps what you have written, and you perform those actions in the application and validate whatever expectation you have written in the test case is meeting with the meeting the actual response given by the application or not. You will, with your eyes, manual intervention is mandatory for this manual testing. With your eyes you are confirming, yes, the application is working as per the expectation what is mentioned in the test cases. Expectation mentioned in the test cases is nothing but what? Expectation mentioned in the requirements. So you have written the test cases by analyzing the requirements only. Whatever expectation is mentioned in the requirements, that only you put in the test cases what you have written. Okay, when you are using those test cases to execute and validate the application functionalities, if application is meeting those expectations or not, with your eyes, you are, you manually you will be performing the actions, and manually you are going to confirm whether those are meeting the expectations or not. That is all the performing actions, providing performing actions and providing input and validating the, otherwise comparing the response of the application with the expectation mentioned in the test cases. I will write expectation out of requirement. okay, mentioned in the test cases or not, you'll be doing all these activities, performing actions, providing input. What input? If I ask you to validate that user is able to log in with valid credentials, what you need to do? First, you need to open the browser, you need to type the URL, you need to wait until the page loads and click on sign in button. It will wait until login page loads and enter valid username password and click on login button. And the expectation for every action you will write, login page should be displayed, user must be able to provide the username password, and the last step expectation is user must be logged into the application successfully and home page should be displayed. Like that, whatever expectations are written in the requirement, you will mention those things in the test cases. So how the test case will be written, we will learn later on. It is very early now. Okay, so test case will be having step-by-step actions that need to be performed to validate a specific case. For every step action, you will be having expectation as well. When I do this, when I click on sign in button, what is the expectation? Login page should be displayed. How I am expecting that? It is mentioned in the requirement. Okay, that's what you will be doing. All these things will be done manually. Will be done manually. Okay, done manually. It's with your eyes you will be observing all these things. So manual intervention is must. It consumes, it takes more time to execute all the test cases. Otherwise I can say it takes the same amount of time to test, to validate a functionality again and again. Is it going to change anything? I tested one functionality today. If I ask you to test tomorrow, you will take less time or what? It will be same time, right, as a manual tester. But in automation, what happens? Performing actions, providing input, comparing the response with the test cases, everything will be done by the scripts or code written by the automation testers, test engineers. All of you able to hear me? Jaya is saying she's not able to hear me, it seems. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Why not? Okay.
Sir, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, Jaya, please check your end. Okay, so like this, all the actions will be performed by the code, not by, you need not to, just you will, there will be in the whatever automation tool you are using, there will be a run button. You need to select the test cases, whatever you have automated, just click on run button. All the test cases will be executed automatically. Pass and fail, everything it will update. Okay, depending on the automation what you are doing. So first time when you want to test that specific functionality, specific feature, you might have taken 2 days to automate. Okay, manual tester has taken only 1 day first time. Okay, but automation tester took 2 days for the first time. Second time manual tester will take same 1 day time, but second time when I ask automation tester to test the same functionality, he will take only 10 minutes. Understand? Where 1 day, where 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Why? Because it will automatically run. You need not to launch the application, you need not to input the fields and all. It will be done automatically. It will be running quite fast. It will be very, very fast. Okay, so you need not to be there also. Okay, you need not to see as well. You just run and go and have coffee and come back. It will be executed and show the result. Okay, so that is why automations, so it helps in avoiding manual effort while performing repeated testings, functionalities, the application functionalities. Okay, clear? So when automation, why automation? Why automation is to avoid this unnecessary manual effort, to save some time. Okay, to avoid manual effort and the time, to help in saving the time and avoiding manual effort while perform the repeated testing on the application functionalities. This is why we are going for automation. Otherwise, there is no reason. Okay, how automation? It will be done by using different automation tools in the market like Selenium, UFT, and you have Appium for mobile applications automation, and Tosca, Apply tools. There are many organization companies have their own tools. I'm not listing all those things. I'm just marking here. Okay, so like using any of these automation tools, you will be automating the applications.
So this Cucumber comes under automation or manual?
Sorry, which one?
Cucumber.
Cucumber is an automation framework. It is not a tool. It is a framework. Okay, in a
Okay.
framework, in Selenium, it will be explained by your automation trainer. Cucumber is a
Okay.
framework. Yeah, it is also, there was a separate tool actually. It was now it is used as as part of Selenium also. You will be designing it as a framework. It is done a bit differently. Cucumber is also an automation tool only, but it is not used now separately as a
Sir,
tool.
Sir, excuse me.
Jira, Jira is comes under manual test, right?
For both manual and automation testers, to log the defects, to create the test cases, to execute the test cases. Mostly Jira will be used for only ticketing tool. It's only for defects logging mostly they will use. So you, to maintain your defects, you will be using that tool. It can be, it should be used by either automation tester or manual tester. It doesn't matter, right? To log the defects. If any automation script is failed, what reason it is failed, something is not working in the application, what automation tester needs to do? He needs to report a defect. Where he will report? In Jira tool. Okay,
Okay, excuse me, sir.
or it can be any tool. Coming back to you, Deepak, wait a minute.
Okay.
It can be any tool, TFS or HPLM, whichever tool you use, there you need to report the defect. So tool doesn't matter for manual or automation. Okay, but one thing you need to understand, automation testers, when they are running the test cases, manual tester manually run one after another test cases, but automation testers, all the test cases whatever you kept in the tool, you will map your code. Whatever code you have written, that code will be mapped to the test cases. Then when you run, single run is enough. You need not to run all the test cases one after another. Okay, so code will take care of passing and failing the test cases. Okay, Deepak, tell me.
Sir, what does UFT stands for? You have written automation tools as like a
Unified
Selenium
Functional
and
Tester.
UFT.
Unified
Unified?
Functional Tester. Functional Tester.
Okay, sir. Okay.
It is actually QTP, you know. Earlier it was popularly known as QTP. Okay, now it is changed as UFT. It was HP tool. I'm not sure now with whom it is. It is HP has all they have sold out all the tools actually. ALM also, there was a tool HP ALM. That ALM has been given to some other organization. Like that, they have given all their tools to some other organizations. They have. Okay, UFT is an
Okay.
automation tool. Okay, it's a very beautiful tool to automate desktop application as well. Akshay is asking what is ETL testing? ETL, extraction, transformation, loading. Okay, it's a data warehousing testing. Okay, it is, you know, data warehousing concepts you need to know. That is altogether a separate type of testing where you will be working on data. Okay, database, how the data is transforming. It is actually business intelligence testing. It is BI guys will be there, BI developers, they will be developing some jobs for what, to take the all the real-time data and transform it into different format and store it in the database in particular format. For that they will create some jobs. Okay, using some automation tools. It can be Microsoft SQL Server, or it can be Informatica, or it can be any SAP BI business objects. Like that, different jobs will be there. You will be, once developer create those jobs are working properly or not, you will, and data is storing in the expected format or not, you will be testing in the ETL. Clear, Akshay? So that is a separate type of testing. It's a specialized. If you really want to know that one, you need to do a dedicated course for that ETL testing. Okay, so clear. Any questions on this types of testing, major category, manual and automation?
No, sir.
Okay, okay, next category I would like to explain. Can we continue for another 15 minutes,
Yes, sir.
all of you?
Sure, sir. Sure. No problem.
Okay, next is methods of testing. Okay, someone said, when I asked types of testing, someone was telling some box, black box, white box. Those are methods of testing. Okay, what are those things? It is black box testing, white box testing, and gray box testing. Okay, so these methods, name itself is telling, right? Methods of testing means it's not a type of testing we can consider. I am doing black box testing, white box testing. You will be doing either manual testing or automation testing. As part of this manual and automation, that functional testing or non-functional testing, whatever you are doing, I mentioned here only functional automation tools. Okay, if you want to do performance testing, there is another tools like load runner, JMeter, kind of other automation tools. This is for non-functional automation. Non-functional means what? Performance of the application, how speed it is working, the functionalities are working. It is taking a lot of time to load the records. These kind of things will be measured and tested in using these automation tools. Okay, so these are also automation tools only, but for non-functional. So whatever functional testing or non-functional testing you are doing, either manually or automation by using automation tools, what are the certain rules or certain, what is your scope? Okay, what is expected from you? Depending on, if you are following manual testing, you will be following black box testing method. If you are following automation testing, you will be following what white box testing method. What are the rules? It is defined by black box testing or white box testing. So if you are following black box testing method, the person is responsible to perform the actions on the application actions and validate whether the response of the application is as expected or not. That's it. You will not be worrying about if it is not working, why it is not working. If it is working, how it is working, how beautifully it is working, what is, how it is working this beautifully, this and all. It's not your job. Okay, your job is giving input and validating whether the response of the application is correct or not. If it is correct, you will pass. If it is not correct, you will fail it. That's it. So you need not to worry about, person need not to have, not to know the internal structure of the application and need not to be aware of any programming language. Okay, understand? I am not telling here you should not know programming skill, you should not know internal structure. I am not telling that. If you don't know also, that is enough for black box testing. If you know how to perform actions and how to compare the actual response of the application with the expectation, that is enough. If you don't know the internal structure of the application, how it is developed, how it is structured, and you don't know the programming also, fine. Okay, so who follows
Excuse me, sir.
manual
Excuse me.
testing? Yes, Deepak.
Sir, person need not to know, sir. Make a correction over there.
Okay, need not to, sorry.
It's okay.
So manual testing follows black box testing method. So in job portals and all, we are looking for black box testers. If you see the heading, that is nothing but they are looking for manual testers. Okay, clear this method? What is the expectation for the manual testers? White box testing. So here just reverse. Person need to have complete programming knowledge and must be aware of the internal structure of the application. Okay, what does it mean? As an automation tester, if you use any of these tools, you need to know the programming, right? Selenium, it supports multiple languages, Java, C# or Python. You need to know one programming language to automate using Selenium. Otherwise, you cannot do anything. Okay, so that is what it is mentioning here. And actual words, textbook definition or experts point of view, It is not talking about just automation testers. It is talking about experts who knows about the programming. They will do the testing at code level. Coding level will be whether the code is written properly or not, code is structured properly or not, internal structure of the application is respected as per the architecture defined or not. All those things will be tested by the experts, technical architects. Okay, kind of who is having very much programming skill and who knows about internal architecture, that and all. Those people will do code level testing. But that is what white box testing is. As an automation tester, you will not be doing code level testing and all. Just if you want to relate that, then it is, there will be some white box testing techniques as well. As I just mentioned, the experts who knows about full programming and who has very good knowledge on the architecture of the application, they do the code validation. Code written by the developer will be validated, not the application functionalities. Okay, that is a specialized skill who are almost equal to developers. Okay, so developer themselves will do their that kind of testing among themselves. One developer has written code, another developer will review that and validate that. Okay, so that kind of white code level testing is mentioned by this white box testing. But when we convert it to automation, guys, so person need to, they will be, since they are also going to build the same kind of project structure in their automation, similarly how developers are developing an application, but here they don't develop any screen and all, but similar kind of project folder structure will be maintained by automations that testers as part of their automation. So they know the internal, how the structure of the application will be, and they know complete programming knowledge as well. And also if person should be capable of identifying the root cause of an issue if something is not working, and should also be able to fix the issue if something is not working as expected. Okay, who will fix? Do you think this statement is talking about fixing the issues in the application? Is it?
Yes, sir.
Automation testers will fix the defects in the application. Automation testers. If I write here, automation testing follows white box testing method. Does it mean automation testers will fix the issues in the application? No. Okay, what does it mean? If you write automation scripts, your script is not working, means test is not executing. That means something is wrong with the code what you have written to automate the test cases. So that code fixing, who will do? Developer will not do, right? You are the one who wrote that code to automate that test. So you will be the one who is fixing it. You should be able to where it went wrong and how it is should be fixed. You should be knowing, if you take in that way automation point of view. But as I mentioned, if you take that architect's point of view and if you are doing developers point of view, code level validation, if some code is written something differently and it is not working, the developer will be definitely capable of identifying the root cause and fixing that issue as well. Okay, but consider now in automation point of view only, that code level testing will not be done by you as an automation tester, or it as a manual tester you will not be doing. There will be a dedicated if you are having very good knowledge in programming, then only you can do that code level testing, whether the developer is respecting the coding standards and he has hard coded anything or he has written some unit tests. There is one more thing you need to know. Unit testing is one of the activity developer must do as per the coding standards. So they need to write some scripts to validate their code. Okay, that code level validation I said, right? They will write some unit tests to make sure their code is stable and it is not broken by any other developer when they are developing new features. To make sure that they will write some unit tests, UTs they call in short, UTs, unit tests. Unit testing is the best example for white box testing. This will be unit testing will be mostly done by the automation developer as part of their development activity for a requirement. When they are writing the code itself for to develop a requirement, they also need to write unit tests.
Sir, and also integration testing, I believe.
Yeah, ITs normally, UTs, ITs they write, but sometimes right, if some projects it is correct only, even in my project also developers only write ITs, but it's not common across the projects or across the companies. Sometimes what they do, they will ask automation testers to write that ITs. Okay, so they can consider UTs. ITs will be written by automation testers sometimes. That's why. Okay, that's why I did not mention ITs here. UTs and ITs are normally written by developers in some projects, but UTs must, they have to write. Okay. Is this clear? White box testing. So if again in we are looking for white box testers, if you see any job description, then it is automation testing only. Depending on the tool what they are expecting, you need to, if you have that skill, you can apply for it, as it is nothing but automation testing they are looking for. Okay, gray box testing. It is simple. It is combination of both black box and white box testing methods. Person should have minimum knowledge. Okay, minimum knowledge of on the internal structure of the application and also minimum programming knowledge as well. Minimum also on the programming language. Minimum knowledge. Okay, it's not like fully skilled and all. Minimum knowledge is required. So it can be, so though I mentioned manual testing does not require any internal structure knowledge or programming knowledge. If you have, you will be doing some different level of testing. Okay, developer might have written this kind of coding to implement this requirement. Let me test something against that program. How it is working, whether it is responding properly or it is breaking. That you can do if you know programming, right, as a manual tester. So it can be followed by anyone, either manual testers or automation testers. Understood? This is just the scope or responsibility of the manual tester or automation tester will be defined depending on the method which you are following. Okay, any questions from these methods of testing?
Excuse me,
sir.
sir.
Yes, Deepak.
Sir, what could be the internal structure of the application? I mean to say, is it in terms of DFD use case, or like what kind of
It
internal
is
structure, sir?
internal structure is nothing but architecture of the application. How the
Okay.
database layer, user interface
The
layer,
over
or
the overall structure of the
yes,
application from front end to
yes.
database. Okay, sir.
Yes, from front end to database, how the services are configured, if at all
Okay.
any some technologies are used, special technology, or you are interacting with the external systems, how it should be done. There will be certain rules for those things, right? All those
Okay.
things.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello,
Yes, Fayaz.
sir. Being a tester, we are only validating the test
Application.
test application, not
Hmm.
write writing the
Not.
code.
If you are automation tester, you need to write the code, not to implement the
Code also
application, to test the application.
means write the code also. Being a automation tester.
Yes, you need to write the code. That is not to develop the application. It is to automate
Only
your
for purpose of
test.
testing.
Yeah, purpose of testing only you need to write code.
Write the code.
That's what
Okay. Thank
automation testing.
you. Okay.
You will call that in general words test scripts. Test scripts is nothing but code you have written for automating the test. Manual tester will write a test case, right? Manually. The test case you will not be doing manually to execute, right? Your code, you need to write some code to launch the application. You need to write the code to type the URL. You need to write the code to click on the sign in button. You need to write the code to enter the username password. You need to write the code to click on login button, and you need to write the code to validate the success message and home page is displayed or not. All these things will be done via code. That's what I mean code. Okay, is that clear, Fayaz?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
But it will be very easy. Don't think like developer will get new requirements to develop, and every day he needs to think something newly, and he needs to, and if at all new technology comes, he needs to upgrade. For us also we need to upgrade, but for automation testing, if you decide one tool, the tool will be having, once you learn, no need to think like, okay, geniusly, oh, how differently I can automate it. The same syntaxes and whatever you learn, so same keywords, those things will you can easily write that automation script. Okay, it is not like a difficulty you will face if you are having fear of code. Don't worry, it is not like a development. Okay, it will be easy for you once you get experience. If you practice well whatever script is explained by automation trainer, then it will be the same thing you will be doing in real time as well. Okay, it is mandatory to learn automation, because you cannot survive only with manual testing for a long time. Understand? Because you will be out of competition. Oh, it's just manual tester. Oh, why do we need to pay that much for him? Like that they will think. Okay, if you have automation skill, you are also be equal to developer. Okay, that's the importance of automation. Is that clear for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then that's all
Uh,
for today.
Sir,
Yes, go on.
soft
Yes, where?
copy. The end
Yes,
of the day. Soft.
I will. Yes, I will talk to institute management now. I will get all your email IDs and I will send today. Okay.
Okay, sir.
That's it for today.